evening, everyone, and I've got an update for you this evening. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Good week start to your weekend. Say start to your weekend because some people get off on Monday because Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but we'll start talking weather-wise. As you can see, we're looking at our current conditions right now. I guess you could say we have three storms. One impacting one of the waves of the atmospheric river impacting California in the west, and your developing snowstorm in the northeast, and then this new low pressure that has formed in the central U.S. Now we're gonna look at the pretty much both storms. Not the new one yet, but in the last part of the update, we'll kind of just be looking at what week we're gonna be expecting and what we're gonna be seeing this week. So we'll get into the video now. So we're looking at our storm here in the northeast. Now I know that I did post a video yesterday, I believe. We had some of this come through. This actually made it past the Appalachian Mountains and formed a new low pressure system that has now become our new storm. Now this, you could say that this actually was the old backside of the recent storm that moved through, which was Thursday, I believe. Yeah. Until might have been Friday, but and this is very interesting to see how this moves, and it looks very, very stable and secure, and you see it's got even some rotation, because it's kind of looking like, I guess you could say a hurricane, but it's low pressure. So you can see you have a little, I guess you could say an eye of the storm, but we'll get into this kind of model run here. So you can see this is 8 a.m. I'm just going to put it to 5 o'clock just because it's 5:30 now. But this was the scene in the morning. And you can see southern Massachusetts. You got snow falling. Light to moderate snow falling. And then you can see the snow is now just off of Long Island. So, you got snow staying true to the coast. And as you can see, you have another little kind of drift north of this. Then this kind of re-enters Long Island as this low pressure takes a weird path and takes a dip here. And I'm wondering if this is just kind of gonna fall into the Atlantic. But I would say the main part of this is really up here. The main event is really up here in the northeast, and this is way down off the coast of the East Coast Central. So very interesting. So something we gotta watch. So this is 5 o'clock, and it's snowing in Boston. It's snowing in Nantucket. It's snowing like everywhere in these major cities that get a lot of snow in the winter. Now western Massachusetts is completely dry. They've gotten nothing because this thing wasn't even that big when it was here. Basically, it's tracked like this. It's like almost like kind of went like this, and then now falling. As we should have a 983 millibar low pressure, but yeah, it's still raining. And then you see in New Hampshire, it's still dry. Vermont. So it's really just staying true to the coast. This one. We'll put this to 6, and you can see this starts drifting east, and now you see you have Long Island back in that snow, and then some snow is intensifying here as your cold air is really pushing through, and that when this meets up with the storm, there could be a lot of concerns, especially with this ice here, because this could accumulate here. So if any of you live in eastern Maine, northeastern Maine, you could see both snowfall and ice accumulation. But watch out for the snow, and it's at times it could be heavy. So I'd really like to, see or hear with of any of you. You could put in the comments if you've seen any snowfall flying around here. And then another band of this that kind of breaks off will move through a little bit farther into portions of western and sorry, not western, but farther west, and then possibly even central Long Island. And then the storm kind of starts breaking apart as it kind of just sticks around for a little bit, re-intensifies, and starts to move west. And this low pressure is just dropping. I mean, we're down to 981, so you see a little bit track north of this, and I wouldn't be too surprised if this thing started to form a new low pressure, because this is these storms are almost like completely different from each other. So I really think somewhere in like this area there a low pressure could form, and then that means that this is going to stick around for a little bit longer, and we're just going to have to see which direction that new low pressure would go, but we're not there yet. So now it's snowing in Vermont, and it's still snowing in Massachusetts, and now snow is starting to fall in Connecticut. You see down here still snowing in the eastern portion of Long Island. It's been snowing for a few hours. So, I mean, eastern Long Island could definitely, possibly, if not definitely, see some accumulation or a major accumulation just because there hasn't been much snow in these areas. So this is maybe your first kind of warm-up for this winter, and then now all of Maine is in this snowstorm. And then you got Vermont completely submerged in this snowstorm. Now New Hampshire getting some snow. Connecticut still in that snow. Snow moving into parts of central Long Island, and then it's like Maine's all pixely now because you have both the mix of some rain, some sleet, some ice, and some snow. But in this whole area here of ice, I think there could be a lot of accumulating ice. So just watch out for that. This will stick around for a few more hours and then slowly lift off. And soon you'll just be ready for this next storm that'll just kind of be like a frontal line that'll move through, not causing much problems because your warm air is in place, and all you're gonna get is really maybe some ice, but that's at most. So I mean, it's definitely windy. I mean, you can see you have, like I said, that how the low pressure is very strong and it kind of looks like a hurricane. Well, here you have it. I mean, this is the wind. You have wind particles showing like kind of which way the wind is blowing. And look at this little rotation here. And all this energy is just fueling this thing. So all this snow and precipitation also comes with a pack of wind. And this is all surging into this storm, which will now start to wrap around the central, eye of this low pressure. So all of this energy is just charging into this, and it's very interesting to see this. And you can see in these areas I just talked about with the wind, with the snowfall, Yarmouth, Massachusetts. I mean, look at this. You got 36 miles an hour. We're on wind. I mean, this is not even wind gusts. Now, wind gusts, you get to 43 miles an hour. Look at off the coastal, east coast of Long Island. I mean, there's a tiny pocket of wind gusts that you could see over 60 miles an hour. So watch out. I mean, 37. I mean, that's a windy day. In the end to Maine, you have another pocket here, and this is now you're getting into the 51, 52, 53 range. But all these pinks and these, I guess, dark reds, these are all wind gusts well over 40 miles an hour. And watch this, you still have, it's not meaning that all these areas just on the coast are experiencing gusty winds. I mean, you got some orange well into the northeast and green into the interior parts of the northeast, meaning that this is like 20, 25 plus mile an hour wind gusts. So, I mean, something you gotta watch. But, I mean, for most of the northeast, it's just been a windy day. I mean, really, it's just your average, I guess you could say, cold, winter, windy day. High pressure was in today, and boy, did it make, the wind blow. Not only do you have the high pressure, but you also have the low pressure with the storm. So this energy with the storm is actually kind of pairing with this high pressure, which is causing a lot of wind that is blowing on the coast. But it's very interesting, guys. We'll check out your ice. And we'll actually, first let's look at the snow. So snowfall amounts, I know this doesn't look impressive yet. I mean, this is only for tonight. I mean, you can see you're topping off at a little bit over 1 inch in, I think, Burlington, or however you say that, in Maine. So any of those areas in Maine, eastern Maine, could see some light to moderate snowfall tonight. And we'll put this to the next 12 hours. So this is tomorrow. And you can see our snowfall kind of gets a little weaker as your low pressure moves south. So I don't think snowfall is going to be a big issue, but it's the possibility for accumulating snowfall is, still out there. Now we're looking into Monday night. You can see it says it up here. And let's put this to snow. And you can see you still have some snow sticking around Caribou, northern Maine. You still have some inch of snow falling, and then as this thing finally starts moving out, you can see you have snow totals well under an inch. So snow totals I don't think will be a problem. I think the main issue would be ice, and then occasionally damaging winds, but I really think it's just going to be the ice. But I got to mention this because this could definitely intensify quickly and become a major system. But we'll keep checking this out. Looking at your atmospheric river now for the west coast, and it's just been charging along. And I'm just gonna keep running this until basically when we're done. So I'm just gonna show you these little breaks you'll have. So this is the one that's been impacting pretty much right now. It'll start moving out of California probably as of the 17th, so that's Tuesday. So evening at Tuesday, you'll see some clearing in the skies and then possibly even some sunshine. And I know it's been cloudy for like a month, but you could definitely see some sunshine because you have high pressure well out to sea, and then this low pressure is very far away from it, so it's not like you have an unstable atmosphere. So you could have some breaking clouds here on your Tuesday evening, and then you'll have actually a few dry days. I mean, Tuesday will be relatively dry, and then you get into Wednesday, and Wednesday is completely dry as you have cold air moving into Arizona and New Mexico. So if this next system comes in soon enough, as this cold air is still in place, you could definitely see more of a snowfall event for California. And you see your next one sweeps through, and like I said, here you have it, more snow. So a little bit more snow than rain. It's going to be a bit weaker. So this could be a sign of your atmospheric river slowing down, because this one's going to be a bit weaker, bringing a little bit less rain, and or I guess precipitation. And it looks like you should be done. So I have good news, everyone. You should, after Wednesday, the crazy weather that has been impacting California and the West Coast should be over, and you will have a completely dry week, and it's gonna get a little warmer possibly. In the beginning of the week, the new dry week, it'll be a little bit chillier, but later in the week it'll start getting warmer. So after Wednesday, you guys could start seeing some sunshine. It's great news. But there's just 2 more rounds to go through, and then it's over. So Californians have been really just trying their best to get through this tough time. Because it's crazy. I mean, just the pictures and the videos I've seen of California flooding has been amazing, and the mudslides, the rock slides. It's just I mean, it's amazing how furious these rains have been. But it's just been going on for so long that it's causing all this extreme weather. So we'll get to the last part of the video, which is your new week. And excuse me. We're going to be taking a look at what's going to be impacting now, I guess you could say, most of the eastern part of the U.S. So here's your low pressure I mentioned in the beginning of the video that's been forming today. It'll start to try and get going probably by tomorrow, so early morning hours of tomorrow you could see some snow falling. Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, you guys know the drill. I mean, it's all these areas pretty much the same time, and then pretty much rain any farther south of that. So this is not going to be a problem, because this is just going to move into Canada and just be a little sweeper storm that could form a new low pressure system as it moves into the northeast, because this kind of break apart, and that will re-intensify possibly, but it looks like it's just going to kind of sweep through and not really cause any problems. And then your big one comes, and look at all this snow in Iowa. I mean, this is the 19th, so let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so this is Friday. I mean, on Friday, you could see a lot of snowfall falling in Iowa. I mean, this is very heavy snow. And Nebraska, same thing. And then you could also see some severe weather possibly down here in the south. So, I mean, this is something you gotta watch. And this moves into Wisconsin, and now moving into Minnesota as well. Your heavy rain event is pretty much over. And this kind of just splits in two. And then you get and then you get this new little track for this low pressure that'll sweep through the eastern U.S. And if this cold air moves with it, you could see some snowfall in these areas. Yeah, and then we'll take a look at this one last storm here because this is so far out. This is not even in this week, but you could have a very intense severe weather event. I'm not saying it's all out for it, but the GFS is showing what looks like could be a very intense severe weather event, as you have 3 main sections of these storms. And look at, oh my goodness, I mean, look at this, all this just extremely dark reds. This is very heavy rain. And it looks like this is going to be an all-out snowstorm and severe weather event for the east half of the U.S. Thanks for watching, guys. I think that's going to end up my video. So if you haven't already, like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. And I guess we'll just catch you in the next video. So again, thanks for watching this update, and we'll see you in the next one. See you guys.